Listen carefully, because what I'm about to tell you was never meant to reach you. There are people in this world, quiet, relentless, almost invisible, who live by a different code. They wake up before the rest of the world, and while you're still negotiating with your alarm clock, they've already made moves that will echo for years. They aren't lucky. They aren't chosen. They're engineered, self-engineered, down to every thought, every breath, every action. And here's the disturbing truth. You've been programmed to fail. Every distraction you love, every comfort you cling to, every lazy decision you justify has been designed to keep you predictable, weak, and average. You think you're choosing your life, but your life is choosing you, and you're losing. I want you to sit with that for a second, because when I say this matters, I mean it could be the difference between dying with regret or leaving behind a legacy so powerful people whisper your name. There's a war happening every day, and it starts the second your eyes open, but most never see it because it hides in routine. The snooze button, that's a weapon. Scrolling first thing in the morning, that's an ambush. Every wasted hour you feed to mindless entertainment is a bullet in your own back. You're not just losing time, you're handing over your future. The ones who win, they understand this game. They don't move through life reacting, they build it. They know that mornings aren't just mornings. They are the launch sequence of an entire day. They know the first 10 minutes aren't casual, they are sacred. And here's the truth no one wants to hear. How you do the first 10 minutes determines who owns the next 10 years. Think about that. Let it burn. The unstoppable? They train themselves to move with discipline when their body screams for comfort. They aren't motivated, they're programmed. Motivation is a weak currency. Discipline is the only currency that buys freedom. The difference between them and you isn't intelligence, opportunity, or talent. It's this. They have a routine that chains their mind to victory, while you have a routine that chains yours to mediocrity. And if you're still listening, it means a part of you is waking up right now. It means you feel that pull, the same pull that has driven empires to rise and crush the weak into dust. What you do after this moment will decide which side you belong to. Because here's the harsh truth. No one's coming to save you. No one's going to force you to change. But you can decide right now to step into the mindset of the few who rule their days like kings. So here's your first command. Tomorrow morning, when your alarm hits, you move. You don't think. You don't scroll. You don't delay. You get up and claim those first 10 minutes like your life depends on it, because it does. Win the morning, and you win the day. Win enough days, and you win the war. You think you're tired because you need more sleep. You think you're unmotivated because you need more inspiration. That's a lie. You're tired because you are draining energy on things that don't move you forward. You're exhausted because you are addicted to being reactive, checking notifications, scrolling for dopamine hits, giving your attention away like it has no value. But here's the secret you were never supposed to hear. Your energy isn't running out. It's being stolen. There's a reason you feel stuck. The world doesn't just want you distracted, it needs you distracted. Entire industries profit from you staying average, emotionally weak, and inconsistent. Every time you open an app first thing in the morning, you're being trained. Not entertained, trained. Your brain learns to react instead of lead, to chase instead of create, to live as a follower instead of a builder. That's not random. It's psychological warfare, and most people never even fight back. The unstoppable? They understand energy is currency, and they guard it like a predator guards its territory. They don't wake up and hand their attention to the world. The first hour of their day belongs to them and them alone. No screens, no chaos, no noise. Because that first hour is when you rewire the brain. That's when you plant the seeds of power. You want to know why the most disciplined people seem calm, unshakable, focused? Because they don't start the day absorbing everyone else's problems. They start by building themselves into a weapon. Here's what they do, and it's going to sound simple, almost too simple, but that's because you've been tricked into thinking complexity equals power. They wake up, and for 5 minutes they breathe. Just breathe. No rushing, no scrolling, just being present enough to reclaim their mind. Because in that silence, you start to notice something. The noise isn't coming from the world. It's coming from inside your own head. And once you can hear it, you can control it. Then they move. Not because exercise is healthy, but because movement is command over the body. You want confidence? Move. You want clarity? Move. You want to stop drowning in overthinking? Move. The body controls the mind more than the mind controls the body. And every step, every push-up, every drop of sweat rewires your brain to associate action with power. That's why the unstoppable don't wait to feel like it. They act first, feel second. And here's the part that stings. You already know this. Deep down, you felt it. That one morning you got up early, worked out, stayed focused. You felt unstoppable, didn't you? But you didn't repeat it because you thought it was just a good day. No. That was a glimpse of who you really are when you stop living like a slave to your impulses. So here's the deal. Every morning you have two identities waiting for you. One is the old you, reactive, weak, addicted. The other is the you that can build an empire. And you choose which one lives the moment your feet hit the ground. Every day you kill one version of yourself. The question is, which one will you kill tomorrow morning? Look at your day like a blueprint, because it is. Every hour you live is carving the foundation of who you will become 5 years from now. Most people hate hearing this, but your future self is being built right now in how you spend your ordinary Tuesday. That's why the unstoppable treat their time like a weapon. Every minute has weight, every hour has purpose, every decision is a vote for the future version of themselves. And you? Be honest. How much of your day is stolen by things that give you nothing back? Here's the truth you've been avoiding. Your timetable is programming you. You either write the code or someone else writes it for you. Most people run on a schedule designed by manipulation. School trained you to sit still for hours. Jobs train you to trade your best energy for someone else's profit. Social media trains you to crave small, meaningless rewards. And you think you're in control. You're not. You're running a script someone else installed in you. The elite rewrite that script. They understand a day is not just a day, it's a system. And systems produce results whether you want them to or not. If you are tired of failing, stop asking for motivation and start asking, what does my system produce? Because a broken system will betray you every time, no matter how hard you try. Let me tell you what the unstoppable do differently. Their mornings, already locked down. But their entire day follows a simple but brutal principle. Protect your highest energy hours like they're sacred. You think you're tired because you lack discipline. Wrong. You're tired because you give your sharpest hours to the wrong things. You wake up and instead of using your strongest focus on building your life, you hand it over to emails, to drama, to distractions. By the time you get to your dreams, you're running on fumes. The ones who win flip this completely. They front-load the shiretshan. Air day with the hardest, most life-changing work first. No negotiations, no multitasking, no checking what anyone else is doing. Just 2, maybe 3 hours of deep, focused work on what moves the needle for their future. You'd be shocked how fast your life changes when you devote even 2 hours a day to your highest goal before you do anything else. Then they cut the fat. You want to know why unstoppable people seem almost cold, even ruthless with their time? Because they know every yes to something meaningless is a no to their future self. They don't care if it offends people. They guard their time like a wolf guards its kill, because they understand time is life. Once it's spent, it's gone. Look at your own day and answer this with brutal honesty. If someone tracked your last 24 hours and judged you only by how you spent them, would they believe you're building greatness? Or would they see another average life on autopilot? Because here's the real punch. Success is never a secret. It's scheduled. Failure is never an accident. It's scheduled too. Which one are you running? There's a reason most people never escape average, even when they know what to do. It's not laziness. It's not bad luck. It's because they have no control over the most powerful weapon they own, their mind. Your mind is not just a tool. It's a battlefield. And right now, for most people, it's enemy territory. Think about it. How often do you feel in control of your thoughts? Not reacting, not overthinking, not drowning in doubt. Actually in control. Rarely, right? That's because no one trained you to command your own mind. You were trained to obey it. Every time a thought pops up, I don't feel like it. I'm tired. I'll do it later. You obey like a servant, not a master. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The people who control their thoughts rule the world. The people who don't are ruled by them. The unstoppable rewire their mind like a soldier rewires reflexes. They know thoughts aren't commands, they're noise. And just because you think something doesn't mean you have to act on it. The average person spends all day negotiating with their own brain, and that's why they lose. The elite don't negotiate. They decide what must be done, and then they do it whether they feel like it or not. That's not willpower, that's training. You want to become that kind of person? Start with this simple but brutal habit. Observe your thoughts without obeying them. Every time you hear yourself say, I don't feel like it, do it anyway. Every time your brain whispers, just 5 more minutes of scrolling, shut it down. Because every time you act against your feelings, you're teaching your mind who's in charge. Every time you give in, you're reinforcing weakness. And here's where it gets even deeper. Your mind is programmable. Every action you repeat is a command you're writing into your brain. You think habits are just about time management? No, habits are brain programming. Every morning you get up when you don't want to. You're installing a new identity. Every workout, every hour of deep work, every disciplined choice, it's not just progress, it's proof to your subconscious that you are not average. But I'll warn you, this will feel unnatural at first, even painful. Because you're literally tearing out old programming that's been running for years. That's why most quit. They feel resistance and think it's a sign to stop. No, resistance is proof you're rewriting the code. So right now, I want you to do something symbolic. Comment this phrase twice exactly as I say it. I am the programmer. Write it, seal it. Because from this moment on, you're not just a passenger in your own head. You are the one writing the code. And if you truly commit to that identity, everything changes. Because once you master this, once you can act independent of mood, emotion, or doubt, you're no longer a slave to your impulses. You are something far rarer. You are dangerous. Failure isn't what you think it is. You've been lied to, conditioned to believe that failure is random, that it's some unfortunate misstep on the road to success. But here's the real truth they don't want you to understand. Failure is designed, manufactured, crafted with precision. You didn't fail by accident. You were led there, step by step, through habits that felt harmless, through distractions that felt deserved, through excuses that felt reasonable. Failure is never a sudden collapse. It's a slow bleed. It's death by 1,000 tiny compromises. The world wants you predictable, not powerful. So it rewards failure disguised as comfort. Think about it. What do you get for sleeping in? A little more rest. For skipping that workout? A little less effort. For avoiding the hard conversation? Temporary peace. But every one of those wins is actually a chain being fastened around your future. It's all being tracked, not by some mysterious force, but by you. Your brain is watching, learning, calculating who you are by what you tolerate. And here's where it turns. The unstoppable? They fail too. But here's the difference. They don't identify with failure. They devour it. Where average people see defeat, they see data. Where most feel shame, they feel strategy. They don't drown in the loss. They dissect it, learn from it, and weaponize it. You want to be one of them? Start here. Stop romanticizing winning and start falling in love with process. Because winners don't worship success. They worship repetition, precision, obsession. They aren't afraid of the setback because they trust the system. And when the system breaks, they fix it. Most people crumble at the first sign of failure because they built their identity on a fragile illusion of progress. One rejection, and they quit. One bad week, and they fold. But the ones who become unstoppable, they understand this. Every failure is a test of whether your identity is performance-based or purpose-based. You failed? Good. Now we see what you're made of. Now we see if you're here for the spotlight or the scars. Because greatness is born in repetition through pain, not perfection. And if you're still here, if you're still listening, it means there's something in you that refuses to be buried. That version of you who was supposed to die in the mess, in the loss, in the silence, he's still breathing. She's still fighting, and that's your proof. So the next time you fail, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Because the pain you're in now, it's not a wall, it's a mirror, and you have two choices: look away or finally face who you really are. You're not broken, you're becoming. Most people never begin their real-life journey. They think they're living, but they're not. They're drifting, existing on autopilot, moving through the same routines, the same thoughts, the same tiny loops of comfort. If you map their life from birth to death, it's just circles, repeating until they're gone. And the worst part? They die never realizing it. But the unstoppable? Their life is not a circle. It's a climb. A relentless, brutal ascent into becoming something more than they were yesterday. And that climb demands a choice, one you've been avoiding for years. Because the journey to becoming unstoppable starts the moment you stop chasing pleasure and start chasing power. The journey feels lonely at first because no one will understand it. Your friends will call you obsessed. Your family will say you've changed. People you care about will try to pull you back, not because they hate you, but because your growth threatens their comfort. They want the old you, the predictable you, the one who didn't make them question their own choices. But here's the truth you need to carve into your mind. Growth demands isolation. Transformation requires exile. And as you walk this path, something strange happens. You stop caring about validation. The need for approval dies. The crowd doesn't excite you anymore because you start seeing the game for what it is. Most people are just sleepwalking, running someone else's script, mistaking noise for progress. Your journey is different. It's not glamorous. It's early mornings when no one's watching. It's late nights grinding when no one's cheering. It's saying no when everyone else says yes. It's sacrificing comfort for a future no one but you can see. And every step forward will feel like tearing off old skin, like killing parts of yourself you once thought you needed. But here's the reward, and it's not money, not fame, not applause. The real reward is freedom. The freedom of waking up knowing you control your life. The freedom of trusting yourself because you've bled for your own respect. That's why the unstoppable carry a different energy. They've fought for their identity. They've earned it. And one day you'll look back at the old version of you, the one stuck in loops, begging for motivation, making excuses, and you won't even recognize them. That person will feel like a stranger because you will have become something entirely different, someone who doesn't wait for life to happen, but bends it to their will. Make no mistake, this journey doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care about your comfort. It only cares about one thing. Will you keep climbing when it hurts, when you're tired, when no one believes in you? Because if you do, if you keep going when everyone else stops, you won't just change your life. You'll become the kind of person who changes the world around them. You think you're free. You think your choices are your own. But every day you are being manipulated. And it's not random. It's engineered. Your habits, your distractions, even your preferences are carefully shaped by systems designed to keep you predictable. Why? Because predictable people are easy to control, easy to sell to, easy to keep average. The truth is, your mind has been hijacked. You're not deciding what you want. You're reacting to what you've been fed. Every app notification, every perfectly timed ad, every dopamine-triggering sound and color is crafted by behavioral engineers who understand your psychology better than you do. They know exactly how long it takes before you break your focus. They know the right sequence of triggers to keep you scrolling when you should be building. The elite know this game because they created it. But here's where the unstoppable flip the script. They use these same psychological principles on themselves. They manipulate their own mind instead of letting the world manipulate it. You want to break free? Start by engineering your own triggers. The same way marketers use red notifications to grab your attention, you can create cues that pull you toward your goals. Write your priorities on a wall where you can't ignore them. Set alarms not to check your phone, but to check your discipline. Anchor your habits to things you already do. Drink water before every deep work session. Take a cold shower before training. Put your running shoes next to your bed so you trip over them in the morning. This isn't motivation. This is mental warfare. You are literally rewiring your brain to crave the right actions, the same way you've been trained to crave distraction. If the world can program you to waste your life, you can program yourself to dominate it. And here's the darkest truth. Manipulation works because people are lazy. They trade control for comfort without even realizing it. The ones who rise above, the ones who become untouchable, are the ones willing to design their own mental environment instead of being a prisoner of someone else's. Every time you fall for a distraction, ask yourself this: who just profited from my attention? Who just won because I lost focus? Because every wasted minute is money in someone else's pocket and a life you'll never get back. Flip it. Turn yourself into the one who profits from your own discipline. Build systems that reward you for staying locked in. Treat your focus like gold, because in this world, it is the most valuable currency you own. The truth? There are only two types of people in this life: the manipulated and the ones who write the rules. Which one will you be tomorrow? You. This is it, the final choice. Because after today, you can't unknow what you've heard. You can't go back to pretending you're a victim of circumstance. You've been shown the truth. Your habits are programming you. Your time is writing your destiny. Your mind is a battlefield. And every failure, every distraction, every moment of weakness is either a chain or a weapon. And now, it's on you to decide which it will be. Understand this. Nobody is coming. No mentor, no rescue, no lucky break. The world doesn't care if you stay stuck. The systems designed to keep you average will keep working whether you fight them or not. And if you do nothing, you will sink back into the noise, the endless scroll, the life that feels safe but slowly kills you. But if you choose differently, if you decide right now to live like the unstoppable, everything changes. Not tomorrow, not one day, now. Because the transformation doesn't start when you feel ready. It starts when you stop negotiating with who you used to be. And here's the truth that most people will never accept. Success isn't a reward, it's an identity. You don't earn the right to be great someday. You decide to be great now, and your actions either prove it or expose you. The unstoppable aren't special because they were born different. They're special because they made a decision and never betrayed it. Every morning, every choice, every sacrifice, proof of who they are. So here's your final command, and it's not a request. Choose your identity right now, not the identity you want to show others, but the one you're willing to bleed for when no one's watching. Decide who you are and live like it's already true, because if you hesitate, if you leave this video and go back to the same loops, you're not just wasting time, you're proving you were never serious in the first place. But if you're ready, if something in you is done being average, done being manipulated, done being weak, then write it below. Comment it twice to burn it into your mind. I am the programmer. I am unstoppable. Write it, seal it, own it, because from this moment forward, you either control the game or you remain a piece on someone else's board. The clock is ticking. The old you dies today or the new you does. Choose.